This video is about changing radius rod bushes on VY Calais. Car was lifted up, obviously all safety measures has to be taken, and underneath here we can see the rod and the bush. This is the nut which we have to take off. The size of this nut, it's 15 of 16th, it's a imperial thread. When we will be taking this nut, we shouldn't be worried about the fact that the rubber is twisting. It's going to be a bit hard to take it off, but you still can do that. You have to apply a bit of WD-40 and a bit of force. We're going to take it off now. Well, nut easily comes off. Next thing we have to do is to take 13mm nuts around the housing, around this. Well, last nut is here, and I have to apologize. It's not 13mm sockets for that. It's one half of the inch one. So we're taking that off, and all four of them taken off. Now you can see it comes off easily, and we're just pulling it out. You will see the radius arm rod sticking out, and now this is the old part, which you can easily place into the rubbish bin and dispose of it properly otherwise, and we're taking it to the next step. While we're taking off the front bushes, I also decided to change the rear ones. That would make more sense to do both of them at the same time while you're doing the front ones. For that we have to take the rear nut off and take the rear bushes off as well. I did jack up the wheel a little bit just to take the weight off the bars and the rod, and now we'll try to undo this nut. Don't forget to lubricate it before you take it off. Well, it wasn't too hard to take it off. It's a 30mm nut. Prepare the 30mm spanner. Obviously I prefer to use spanners, not shifters, in order to preserve the nuts. You can see the metal bushes there, and those are the ones we're going to be replacing as well. Well, with a little bit of effort we can pull this rod back all the way out of the housing. That's it. Now we've got radius arm rod in front of us, and we can take the rear bushes. They're right here. We can take them off. You can see the metal inserts in there, and that would be our next step. You can see the rear bush. If we will look really close, I don't know if you will be able to see the signs of wear on that bush all around the metal column right there, and we have to get it out from the housing. One of the hardest tasks which was in front of me is to get the old bush out. That's the way it looks like. It's a rubber. Now in order to get it, what I've done, I cut the lip on one side, and I used one of my bars and the hammer to knock it out. We're knocking it out from inside, from the front of the vehicle towards the rear end. So this way, bang, bang, bang. Now it's a bit hard. Just don't break anything while you're swaying your hammer around. This is an olefin kit for rear bushes for Holden VY, VZ, VT onwards. You can use this kit. Now there are 4 bushes inside, 2 front for the, it's all for the rear, 2 the front ones and 2 at the back. Now they've got different numbers. Don't get confused. They are different. The one here, which is 7HO075BH, is the one which is going to be installed behind the rod, rear end, and the one which is HO075A is going to be installed in front. So the way it's going to look like, it's going to be the 75A and 75BH at the back, like so. So this is the front of the vehicle and the rear end of the rod. Now insert goes into the front ones, and it has to be flat inside of this bush, so which we're gonna do in a second. Each Nolothane kit comes with the lubricant, and you have to put plenty on the outside of the bush and insert it, so it has got a minimum friction. Now when you will be applying it, make sure that you spread this amount for two. You've got both sides to be done, so half of it for left and half of it for right. This is 7.5A. I already inserted the crash tube. As you can see, it's longer than the bush, and it has to be flush on the other side. Now we apply a bit of lubricant all around that surface, and we will put it into the housing. Now this is our housing, and we're inserting the front ones, 7.5A, and pushing it in. Excess of the lubricant is going to come out a little bit, don't worry about this. This is 7.5BH. We're putting it from the back into the housing. Again, I spread the lubricant all around, and you just gently push it in equally. Don't try to push one side only, so try to centralize it. That's easily came in. Now all in place, and you can wipe the excess of the lubricant off. Now I've prepared my rod. I can insert it. Obviously the back goes inside first into the newly installed bushes. Don't forget about the metal ones. I suggest you to wipe the surface of the rod on both sides. Well, while you're at this, you can also wipe the rod itself, so it looks like new. Now don't forget to put the bush in. We're reusing them, so when you're taking it off, do it with care. So now I'm installing it back onto the rod, and I will insert the rod into the rear bushes and reuse the other metal bush and the nut. So we're inserting the radius rod inside of the newly installed bushes. It goes in easily, and the front ones we will take care of them a bit later on. Now we have to place the other metal bush here, and obviously use the nut to tighten it. That's why it's important to use a proper spanners and tool, so the nut has got proper shape, and you can easily tighten it up. As you can see, because I lubricated the bush before I took it off, the nut goes in easily. Now make sure that the bush is in position and the rod is fully in, and you tighten this nut. Again, we're using spanner 30mm. When you'll be tightening the rear nut, right next to the rear bushes, don't do it too tight, because it will give you opportunity to position the rod, the radius rod properly, so you can insert the front bush. Now I did it a little bit tight, so I can position it properly, roughly to the center, and it stays on itself. Makes it easy for you later. Now in order to place the front bush, they come in a kit like this, and it's adjustable. It's the beauty of it. Now there's a metal insert which have to be placed inside of the bush. I've prepared one earlier. That's the one. So that's the one we're going to be installing. Before we put it in, don't forget to put big washers, big metal washers. In the kit there are 2 of them. So you place them on the rod first, and through this hole. You will have no big difficulties. The hole is bigger than the washers themselves. Okay, when you were taking off the old bush, you could see 2 washers of that were at the back. With the Nolothane kit, you place one at the back, and you do it before you install the bush itself, and one once you install the bush. And we're going to do it right now. So we're placing it on the rod. It goes in. Make sure that the rod surface is clean, and before we install the bush we have to lubricate the metal insert. there, and as I said, the lubricant comes in the kit, so we'll put some lubricant in it, and after that we will install the bush itself. The whole point of exercise to achieve that beautiful performance everybody's talking about. Now we've lubricated the insert. The insert has to be flush with the front, and we're gonna put it in position, so do it gently, no rush. I'm just trying to get the better picture for you, and you just simply push it in position. Now you have to line it up with the bolts from the frame, and we'll do it from the front. Okay, now it's easy to see the bolts. We're gonna line it up with the bolts, so we're lifting it up. As you can see, the rod is a bit free to move, and that's why we didn't tighten the nut at the back so tight, and we're just gently inserting it into the position. Now, as you can see, one of the nut doesn't line up, so you have to play with that a little bit, and get it into the position and install these 4 nuts. Now we've placed 4 nuts on the bush and the big washer, and also the adjustable washer. There are 3 of them coming in a set. Well, I guess it's up to you how tight you want. Now I put the biggest one I had in the kit, and using obviously the brand new nut, which also comes in the kit. So we're proceeding with the screwing them and tightening them up. When you're going to be tightening the half-inch nuts, I recommend you not to take it all the way to the end, every single one of them, but rather do it equally and in the crisscross pattern. So top right, after that bottom left, and bottom right, and the next one would be top left. That way the bush itself will get into the position sort of in with the equal pace all around the perimeter. So again, top right, don't use too much force, bottom left, bottom right, and top left. And so on when the plate is touching the frame all around equally. Now our beautiful new bush is in position. All nuts are tied up and the main nut is there. I put an extra washer here. If you've got a torque wrench, I recommend you to use it. I used the setting about 30 nanometers. That would make it equal and on both sides, because you're going to be doing the right one now. And don't forget about the rear nut. You have to tighten up because it was loose in order to fit the front one. Well, I'm just about to put the wheel on. So guys, obviously the first thing you need to purchase for your VT onwards Holden is a kit from Nolothane. The front bushes would be 48166 and the rear ones is 48019. Now you can buy it from different retailers, including Repco. In order to proceed, you will need a few tools, and they are obviously the spanner to take your wheel nuts off and to take the wheel off. Once it's on the jack, you can spray WD-40 in order to release the nuts of the front bush and the rear bush. In order to take the nuts of the front bush, you will need half inch key, right, spanner, or ratchet set. In order to release the main nut of the front bush, you will need 15/16, which is imperial measure for the main nut of the front bush. Once it's off, you can work on the rear bush. The rear bush has to be taken off with use of the 30mm spanner. You'll be able to take the nut of the rear bush housing. Once it's done, your rod pretty much is ready to be taken out. You can take the radius rod out, and when you will start working on the bush, which is rear bush. I started working from the rear bush, and in order to take it off, I did cut the lip of the rubber, right, and knocked it out. The way you're knocking it out is away from the front, so the knocking this way, so it goes this way. In order to knock it out, I was using my old extension rod, which did fit perfectly the metal part of the old bush, and I easily knocked it out. I used a soft head hammer instead of metal hammer. I think it was more sort of cautious on my side to prevent any breakage to the other arms. Once you got this bush out, and also this is the old one, rear, and that's the front. That's how they look like. Once it's off and the rod is off, you can start assembling the rod and clean the rod first, obviously. These tools you will need later on to reassembly. Forget about the hammer. Once you install the new front bush and the rear bush, I was using my torque wrench, right, with the settings of 35 Newton meters, so close to 40 Newton meters, in order to have equal tightness. Obviously, word of advice before you start assembling, check the surface of the rod so there's no rust or any particles which would disturb in the future. I used really fine sandpaper and wiped it off. Once the rod's installed, you tighten them up with the torque wrench. Obviously I didn't have the 30mm socket head, that's quite a big one, so I had to use 30mm spanner to install the rear one. And once it's installed, I highly recommend you, while the car is standing on the supports, right, use a brake cleaner. You've got perfect opportunity to clean your hubs and the brakes. So spray it on and wipe it off with a clean cloth, and that would be easy. Now, in order to do the whole procedure, which took from me approximately 1 hour and 20 minutes on the left side, because I was doing the filming and commentary. The second one on the left was completed by me within half an hour. You shouldn't be afraid of doing that, it's quite easy. Most important thing, don't rush and follow safety, which is most important thing, your safety. Make sure that the stands are stable. And what I was doing when I started working on my car, I took the wheel off and placed it under my vehicle just in case if stands are gonna let go, and I was using the mat to cover the metal surface of the mag. Well, apart from that, while I was doing that, I also did the oil change. I installed a new sun plug from underneath because it's easy access from the bottom while it's on the stands. You just undo the sun plug, get the old oil out, and put the take the old filter off. It's right there. Access to this filter, you can see it's a shiny black new shiny filter, oil filter. Access to it from the bottom is much easier, and while the car is on the stand, I recommend you to do that. As you can see, here's my new Niaflon front bush, rear bush of the left side, and we're looking at the right side. Here they are, new babies. Now what you have to do now is just a wheel alignment, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. Bye bye.